Good morning, everybody. We are here for our Friday show. Then we get a little rest through the weekend.
Yeah.
But we do have a change of plans today. We were going to have Pat D72 on. He had a situation that came up, so this will be another show that will be rescheduled. And we'll get him on, though. I think he got himself wore out from Halloween last night. Too much candy.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a couple comments. Lisa C says, change of plans. Did zombies eat Pat D's for Halloween? Steven Scroggin says Pat D's 72 went out for a hamburger. You're not wrong.
Right. So we're going to do something a little bit different today, but before we get into that, we'll let people pour in. And Anthony, you want to tell us who our brownie points winner is today?
Brownie points go to Justin Jacobs. He's starting to pull away with this, guys. You need to step up your game if you want to get them brownie points, because Justin Jacobs is up to 3 now, I believe.
Yeah, he's at 3. And you know what I noticed is no matter who comes in first, Steven Scroggins needs to get up like 5 minutes earlier, and he'd on this. He's on here once, but he could get, because he just misses it every time, because I usually have it up and I'm watching.
Yeah.
So gotta wake up just a touch earlier, or get to your YouTube. I don't know if he's sleeping, if he's working, or what. But
yeah. Good morning to you, Steven. You're the second one in here. Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward. What's up, Kelly? Good to see you. DC Sales, the master of the license plate. John, Dad's Vintage Garage, all the way from Virginia. Good to see you, bud. Moronic Pest, what's going on? Stuff from Sally. Steampunk Town, what's going on? Dawn, the Bargain Hunter, good morning. Christina Moore, good morning to you. Michelle Lathan, what is up? Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward, said, well, the coupon expired 10/31. That sucks. Rough Stump Reseller, what's going on? Good to see you, Jamie. Next one's for you, Tommy.
Them flipping critters, good morning to you.
In it to flip it. What's going on this morning? Good to see you. Samantha Smith, wonderful to see your smiling face again. Gate City Picker, what is up, Paul? Paul's a good dude. I like him.
For sure.
That's everyone for now. If you're here and I hadn't said hello to you, feel free to say hello and or tag one of the 3 of us, and we will say hi to you. I'll make sure everyone feels welcome, especially with a little bit of the twist Tommy came up with for this morning.
Yes, for sure. You know, because we kind of had a last minute cancellation, so I had no backup plans as far as anything to go on. So I was thinking today, we see all these names in chat all the time. We associate the names with conversation, but what I'd like to try to do is associate them maybe with a face. And I was hoping maybe we could pull some people in from chat. I mean, you don't have to come in for a whole length of duration or so. Just kind of come in and say, hey, okay, this is them flipping critters. This is me. I'm Rebecca. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. You know, hang out a few minutes, and then maybe somebody else jump in. Maybe we can get Justin Jacobs in here, you know, and hey, this is me. This is what I do. This is where I'm at, whatever, you know, and just kind of see if we can get people to associate an actual face with the name, and just a self-introduction. Try to get to know each other maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, so find out what each other does.
I'm gonna drop the link in chat, and for anybody that would want to just come on in and let us know a little bit more about you, and we'd love to have you on. Other than that, we're just going to kind of freeform it today. See how it goes. It's Friday.
I love Friday.
Morning, Jennifer.
I have a job. I'm just a reseller. I got tons of shit to do.
I love Fridays. I'm off. I love it. Like that monkey's off my back today because I'm off.
Tommy Bernard, unreliable guest. I'm telling you, Tommy.
Tommy, didn't need too much throughout YouTube.
If they didn't eat too much candy, they're stuck on the shitter. Maybe they're stuck on the shitter from eating too much candy.
Or it's made Wendy's burgers.
Speaking of candy,
Tommy, this could be your makeup day.
Dave, my cat ate through one of them bags.
Oh man,
No, I could only send in 2 bundles, so I got 5 bags that need eaten.
hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully your cat doesn't get sick from eating candy.
I don't think he got candy. I just think he ate through the plastic.
Uh,
Yes. So
who's going to be guest number 1?
I'll tell you what. I'll give a bonus brownie to the first person that comes on. They'll get added to the brownie list. How about that?
Bet you it'll be Justin Jacobs then.
You must like brownies.
did someone say brownies? Did you go outside yet today, Anthony?
Mm-mm.
It is cold outside.
I would say I ain't going outside. It looks cold.
I went out there, boy. I almost ran back in the house.
I don't blame him.
Oh!
My beard was
Somebody here.
my beard was moving around with the wind.
Hey,
What's up, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I dare Jacob come on camera here. I'm the first one on camera.
Yeah. Great. You got revenge for them brownie points stealing.
I
Right?
actually was the first one in. I did it last night, but it didn't show up this morning.
Oh,
How y'all guys doing?
we're doing good. I just added your name to the list. You got a bonus brownie points here.
I don't care. I just doing it for.
So why don't you just kind of let people know who you are and what you do? I mean, I'm sure they assume, but do a little
I'm a vet all
self-intro.
day. No, I resell here and there, mostly on eBay and some on Mercari and a little bit. I sell one thing on Amazon. I just started Amazon. I really can't get into Amazon too much. I like the older stuff and stuff like that.
Cool. How long have you been doing the flipping game?
Well, kind of ever since I was little. But I mean, my whole family basically into reselling. Not reselling, but here, always try and make a deal and stuff like that.
That's about how I was pretty much since a kid. I grew up with it though. My dad had a salvage yard, which that's another flipping game.
Yeah, my uncle did something like that. He had like flea markets and stuff. My dad buy and trade and wheel and deal all the time. I just last couple of years I had just a bad deal. I lost my mom 3 years ago, and
Do you see Justin Jacobs' comment?
no, I don't have the screen pull up on YouTube.
I gotta highlight that. Why did my stream here now? Here we go. Just believe it or not all fat people like brownies. One of them.
Wow.
I love brownies.
Oh, brownie.
I will do some damage to a brownie.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. I could sit down to a pan, honestly. No kidding.
But what kind of brownies do you like? That's the question.
I like a fudge gooey brownie with the burnt caramelized edges.
Yep.
Ah,
My favorite piece is the corner piece.
yep.
I love peanut butter brownies. Oh,
Yeah, peanut butter brownies are. We'll do that. We'll make brownies and then we'll kind of throw out some peanut butter in the microwave and then just kind of go back and forth. Take your toothpick and drag it through.
Sometimes put a little fudge just on top. Oh yeah.
How y'all sales been lately?
What was that?
How your sales been lately?
Well, since I've been listing over the last week, they're picking up. I was just showing Anthony. I know people. We were talking about it on a live yesterday, and I was listing that cryo cup, and I says these sell within 48 hours. Well, this one didn't even make it 12 hours. Sold for $75 plus shipping.
Nice. I sold that Pepsi thing.
I paid 30 cents for it.
I sold that Pepsi tap the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, on auction. Got it for $6 and sold for $100 and some.
Nice.
Those are nice when that happens.
Yeah, I just lucky there. I figured maybe 30 or 40, something like that. But I didn't know what the range is. They had one up on auction the other day before mine. I put mine on there for I could get watcher like you said that time. And
Yep.
but it worked out good.
There we go. Kelly Econ Mom says brownie with a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top and caramel drizzle. Oh. Guess what Destiny's doing today?
Making brownies.
Yes.
I just text my wife and told her to grab some brownies mix and stuff. I literally just 1 minute ago.
I have a couple boxes of Fiber One brownies upstairs. So I'll be getting some of those out and smearing some peanut butter on them after the show.
Fiber One, you better have those today so you don't miss the show on Monday because we have enough people getting stuck on the pot.
I
don't eat them Sunday night.
No problem with that. You know what I mean? I'm pretty regular.
Oh, we got
too much information there, man.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
the rivalry begin.
What's up?
Good morning, Justin.
I figured I'd have to come in since you called me out.
What's going on with you, bud? Want to kind of just tell people who you are?
I'm Justin. I sell on eBay. I just started the other day actually cross posting to Macari. I don't have about 10 listings up, but no luck so far. Yeah, I've been selling since I was a kid, hustling candy on the school bus. But I had brain surgery at the end of last year, and it's left me with some issues, and I can't return to work. So I'm trying to step up the reselling to try to compensate some of my pay. So, but that's about it.
I understand that. I'm born with cerebral palsy when I was little, and I have physical issues sometimes too.
Yeah, not all fat people like brownies. So, but
just haven't had the right brownie.
As long as it's not a Cleveland brownie, it's a friend of mine.
I take that back. My wife made some. I guess it's been last year or so, but she put some Hershey Kisses in them, and so they were extra gooey. So those are pretty good. But
Don the Bargain Hunter says homemade peanut butter brownie with nuts and chocolate.
Joe, you can jump in if you want, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to have you on. Kind of give people a trailer for Monday's show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, anybody can feel free to jump in. We got one more spot.
Yeah.
As
if anybody want out, I'll come out.
What's up, Reseller King? Good to see you.
Yeah, we'll just rotate through, like I say, just trying to get people to match faces up with names, and it's kind of cool because sometimes I look at names and I wonder if they don't have like a channel or a lot of content, or some creators out there, you only see their hands. They don't really show their face. I get real curious to what people look like. And then when you talk to them or you're chatting with them, you can kind of visualize talking face to face. That's just me, though.
Yeah. Justin, I know you don't have any content yet, but I'm going to drop your channel link too.
I think Justin's going to have content. Justin, this would be a good time for Justin to start creating content because he's fairly new into the whole reselling and doing different things. And there is not a lot of documentation of people starting pretty much from scratch and the struggles of figuring it out.
Yeah.
I was actually going to talk to him about that and say, hey man, I'll team up, because I try to help him out and whatever. And it'd be like, we forget as full-time resellers, all the questions that we had when we first started.
I'm remembering them quite a bit now that I'm starting on Amazon, and I'm like, Nate, help me.
I really didn't have too many struggles when I first
What's
started
going
on eBay. But for me, coming back from my retail background, maybe that helped me out with eBay. I don't know.
Yeah, as far as eBay goes, like I was already playing around with it enough to kind of have a little bit of an understanding of what to do. But what really helped me take that to the next level was just basically watching Lonnie and Justin and other guys every single day and just seeing how they do it. Because I've been able to model certain parts of my business after some of the things that they do, and it's been very successful.
I mean, with me, I've been selling forever, but most time I do flea markets. I have quite a few yard sales and on Facebook Marketplace, but as far as selling online, that's what I'm just starting. So, I mean, I hit up, Anthony and Tommy. I hit y'all up all the time, asking questions, most time about either shipping. Because all the shipping I've never dealt with it until now, and it's totally confusing. All the different options or the best way to ship, certain items or whatever. And then now, I'm kind of I'm just opening up what I buy. I mean, I buy stuff now that I wouldn't even thought about buying before, and so just like one thing I picked up this past weekend, I don't mess with antiques or vintage stuff really, but I picked up it was a pewter, it was like an ornate pewter trinket box, and I had no idea how old it was, but it was made in Norway, and I couldn't find any similar comps, so I just kind of found something and I priced it a little higher than that, and it sold like in 2 hours. So I probably priced it a little low, but the shipping for starting out, the shipping is definitely the hardest part to learn everything.
Yeah, because the other day when I ship out a big air filter, if I took like 5 inches out of the box, it saved me $10. It did.
Reseller King, I made you a mod in here so you can drop a link to that group. He says he made a group on Facebook where sellers can sell bulk items to each other in the areas where it's hard to get items.
Yeah. Come in and tell us about it, man.
Yeah, for real.
Jump on.
So that's something that I'm very interested in. I know there's a couple of groups that are out there, and nobody's close enough to me to make it worthwhile by the time I'd buy the bulk thing and ship it. But I'd love to find something, hopefully that's closer, or I don't know where he's at, but with my luck, he'd be next door, and I don't even know it.
Yeah. I think me and Tommy is similar. We live in like a smaller town, and
yeah, I'm small town living. I want to change that though within probably the next 6 months. Hopefully, it's winter now. I don't want to move.
Blame me there.
Come to the bar.
Start looking for like April, May.
Well,
Sure.
Anthony
Looking
been
at
to
some
my
dark
town.
places last night, Nate.
What's
Anthony been to my town when he went to the Ark. He been to my town. He did.
Yep.
It wasn't much around really, except that.
Me and Destiny were on Craigslist last night, just kind of looking at the Pittsburgh rentals and whatever.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Dude, I don't understand. You gotta. We're gonna have to sit, and you're gonna have to explain it to me because I don't know if you guys price differently. If I'm not understanding stuff, or if these are just really everywhere that's on Craigslist is a really bad area, because we're looking at like 5-bedroom houses, 2 baths, and they're talking like $780.
Yeah.
Does that even sound right? Because that don't sound right for Wisconsin.
Like for us, like in my area, I remember renting. I own my house now, but I rented a 3-bedroom, decent sized house for $400.
I rent a
Now that's
place.
nothing included, but
Now, I rent a place out for to my a tenant about 400, but it's an older place. But it's I thought that reasonable because
Well, see, we're paying $550 here, 3-bedroom, single house, fenced-in yard, 1-car garage. I mean, but $550 is an exceptional price for our area. It's just we've been here forever, and she hasn't raised our rent. And I do a lot of, our wax ring goes out on the toilet. I'll replace it myself. I don't have her call in a plumber, and she gets stuck with a big. Our drain got stuck going outside. I went and got the Roto-Rooter from Ace. She paid the rental. Me and my father-in-law rooted it out, so we save her a lot of money that way. So she just hasn't jacked up our rent. But versus the house next door that is about half as nice, they're paying $900 for a 3-bedroom.
Yeah, the last tenant we have in our place, they kind of tore it up a little bit, and we knock off about 6 months worth of rent to let them fix it up how they want it.
Yeah, I don't call my landlord for anything. We had to. What was it? The sink upstairs, like all the washers were going out of the faucet and it was leaking everywhere. She's like, "Oh, I'll send the plumber up there. Can I drop off I have the faucet for it. I'll have a plumber come in and change it." I was like, "Well, shit, if you got the faucet, I'm no dummy. I can put it in."
What's up?
That's why the first thing I asked mine, I say, you want me to knock it on the rent? You pay for it, I knock it on the rent, because if you can do it, it's
and we get price breaks when something like that happens. Like I threw the faucet in, and she popped $100 off the rent. Plus, she doesn't charge us rent in December. She gives us like a Christmas gift of rent and sends us a check. So it's kind of cool, That's the hard thing about leaving where we're at. We hate where we're at, but we're not going to find a landlord and get a deal like we got right now. I don't think hardly anywhere.
Well, my cousin actually has rental properties, so I could probably ask him, if he has any decent properties in a good area for you.
I mean, we're seriously thinking, and I definitely got to take a trip out by you, because from everything I saw on Craigslist, and I told her, I was like, "Man, I don't know, I don't know these streets." Did name the areas, the different area, like Butler and Squirrel Hill, and just the different how they section it off. And it's like, but they all kind of look the same to me.
Yeah,
they all look like it'd be hard for you to relate, but they all look like 27th and Mitchell in Milwaukee. It's kind of just like the lower to low middle type class, and I'm like, is all of Pittsburgh just
actually Squirrel Hill is very up class. It's very up.
Hey, Tiff,
what's going on?
But Tommy, would you be happy in the city?
I want to move closer to a metropolitan area because I'm tired of traveling 2 hours to Source.
Because I thought maybe you into maybe fishing and stuff like that, and you kind of outdoorsman and.
Yeah, I'm definitely into fishing. That's why I like Appleton, because it's a big metropolitan area, but it's surrounded by tons of water, rivers and lakes. And Oshkosh is I think it's Lake Winnebago is the biggest lake in Wisconsin, or second biggest lake in Wisconsin. And it's about a 45-minute drive to Lake Michigan. So that's why I like that area. So what's going on, Tiff?
Just trying to survive Q4.
I
hear you there.
Got to get everything to Amazon for Black Friday by Tuesday.
Look, I got my second box almost ready to go.
Did you really?
Yep.
That's
Don't use
good.
eBay tape though to send everything.
That's funny.
The question is,
awesome.
Anthony, how many sales you have so far?
On what, Amazon?
Yep.
I don't know. Let me pull up my app.
We just started. Yeah. Did any of your stuff hit the warehouse yet?
Yeah, yesterday, yeah, some of my stuff did, and then some of the stuff they're still waiting on. So I sent 2 boxes to them.
Because I'm using you as a
Okay.
guinea pig here.
Let me see. Seller app.
Cliff said
Citydata.com.
you could get a
I
closet
still
for
haven't installed that
$500.
Yeah, I still don't have any sales yet. Still says 0.
Okay, when is the storage fee? You have to pay each month on each item? See, that's what I don't understand with Amazon.
They do it by cubic foot, and there's a standard fee, like for standardized items, and there's oversized items. Oversized items, it's a little bit less of a cost.
Each month?
Morning,
Yeah.
Lynn.
Huh?
Each month, yeah.
Yeah,
So
once it's been there 30 days.
So how much do they charge you for like the cubic foot?
During fourth quarter, it's a
Yeah.
little over $1, and then like other than the fourth quarter, I think it's around a little over 50 cents a square foot.
But if it sit there for 2 months, you're really losing a lot of profit from it.
I mean, it's really not that much per item, because I mean, unless it also depends on what you're selling too, because if you're selling, say you're selling like bubble wrap, where it's a huge, but it's only $9.99 for example. Yeah, you might not make, that will hurt some of your profit, but that's why you got to make sure that your sales ranks and stuff are all on, and that that they're selling every month. You got to do a little research before you send stuff in.
Yeah, that's why I recommend Keepa, because I don't go by sales rank. And I mean, most of your stuff on Amazon is selling pretty quickly. So the goal is like you don't want to have it sitting there for more than a month. Sometimes you don't pay much in storage fees. Like last month, I think I paid like $50 something, and I did $20,000 in sales. So I mean, you have to think about like that's not $50 is not a lot of money compared to the money that you can make. So no, I didn't curl my hair, I promise. It just came out of a ponytail. Thank you though.
Like Stephen, for example, I do Amazon. I consider most people consider part-time. I do about 7,000-8,000 a month in sales, but my profit is like $3,000. So even if I'm paying $200 in fees, and that's more than what I pay, but I'm just giving you an example. That's really not that much. With the professional fees, keep my repricer and storage fees all together.
So not to like dig into your like personal business or finances, but if you can do $20K a month on Amazon, how much do you like take home for yourself, or how much like of that is profit? Just out of curiosity.
So that's why like I recommend Inventory Lab, or there's another company that just reached out to me that wants to collab with me that's cheaper than Inventory Lab. But I recommend something that's gonna like track your profit and loss, because it pulls all that data from Amazon. So then you can go through and you can look at your profit and loss, per month. So
that, for me as a person who sucks with numbers, that would be hard to keep track of. Like, if I start seeing like a large number, oh wow, do I have like all this money like that I've made, or is like some of that like?
Do you guys, either or anybody, I don't know, do either of you know if you can sync Amazon with GoDaddy bookkeeping?
Yes.
You can, because that's what I use, and it's worked very well with like eBay, because it shows you can print out a profit loss. It gives you your estimated taxes owed, and you can even print out your tax papers right through it. And I've been thinking about going to QuickBooks, but I haven't found a need yet. I'm happy with GoDaddy. As long as Amazon would sync with that, I wouldn't see a reason to change.
I believe it can. I don't use it, but I know a lot of people that sell on Amazon use GoDaddy.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Kelly, Econ Mom says yes, you can too.
Okay,
so.
awesome. Yeah, Kelly says she does Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and Poshmark, and she works 2.5 days a week. So that's a lot, Kelly.
Kelly's very knowledgeable too. Like I've asked her questions just like in the chat, and she definitely knows her stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Donna.
But I mean, it just, with the thing with Amazon is most of your stuff is not going to take as long to sell as it would, I think, with like eBay or other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you use for your receipts?
What do you mean, like to scan them?
Yeah, to like make sure you have them all. And
most of mine, I mean, because I do a lot of online arbitrage, so I already have them online.
okay.
But if they're like paper receipts I get from the store, you can use like NeedScan, or you can use like just your regular scanners, scan them in. And then I have like a OneDrive. I have a OneDrive account, which is just like a cloud, account,
Yeah.
and then I just upload them to the cloud.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and I store them by like stores. So.
Oh, that's smart.
With GoDaddy too, like, because I have a lot of paper receipts because I'm a thrifter, and with the GoDaddy in the phone app, you can just basically take a picture and scan them, and they're stored right in GoDaddy's database.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, GoDaddy I've heard really good things about. I've never used it.
I love it. I've been using it for the last 3-4 years, something like that. And
yeah.
It's so simple. Once you set up your categories,
yeah,
like it knows, because I use my PayPal card, so it knows anytime I use my PayPal card, that it's automatically going to put it into the cost of goods folder.
That's awesome.
From Goodwill, and then from my local thrift store here, and then my other PayPal card, that Destiny has on the same account but in her name, it knows anything that we put on there is classified personal, so it don't put it in a business expense, and it does it all automatically once you set it up. It's pretty simple.
Really cool.
And it'll show like your eBay sales, what you paid in fees, your shipping costs, blah blah blah, and it breaks down your profit and loss and kind of imports that right into your tax documents. So it's
That's
real
awesome.
simple.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with Amazon, because there's so many fees, there's, so many fees and hidden fees and storage fees go up, in Q4 and all of that. So I definitely recommend like something that can keep track of profit and loss, because it's real easy to think you're making money and you're not. So,
Yep. And it gives me a weekly report. Like it'll say your profits this week were X amount of dollars. And, I know a lot of people talk about CPAs and stuff, but I haven't found the need, basically because I'm not probably doing multi-platforms and getting confused. I haven't found a need for a CPA yet, and I haven't had any issues. I think I'm probably, if anything, losing out on some deductions that I could claim by not talking to a CPA.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like that's the biggest reason to get a CPA is you can get all these deductions, you never would have known about.
Right.
Yeah, Lisa makes a good point. App add-ons you need for Amazon, Inventory Lab. Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Like some of the stuff, like depending on what your sales are, you don't need all that. I mean, like for me, keep a 100% is very good. And a repricer is something you definitely need. Anthony wouldn't need it right away because he just doesn't have a lot of stuff in inventory yet. But for the average person, the stuff after that is depending on what you're how much you're sending in every month and everything else. You know what I mean? Where it makes sense because you're using it to save time or to free up time of your processing and stuff like that. So, they can be, after the end of the day, you could have a bunch of stuff, but that's where I've tried to keep it to the minimum.
Hey, John, I'm sitting back there.
I was sitting out looking out my back window at all my leaves changing colors.
I was spying on you last night. I was lurking in your chat, but I didn't say anything.
Did you see Kendall? I mean, we were going to
Yes.
go to the party, and then the party didn't happen, and so we went live, and Kendall was all dressed up in spa face like I was, and then we were waiting so long she got tired of it, so she went out and took it all off, and then when we actually went live on our channel, she came down and she was dressed like a princess. So.
Aww.
But anyway, hey, I got my buddy Oliver here too.
Hey, what's happening?
Yay.
He's the one that's been helping me bust my butt on cleaning the house and getting my storage unit straight. And we used to be, when I first moved back to Richmond, we were roommates. So
That's cool.
Years ago. I actually have known Oliver longer than I've known my wife.
Oh my, that's cool.
Hey, Steven, I'm gonna bump you to the green room for a minute, okay?
Oh, it's all right. I'm gonna head out here, bud.
All right,
Bye,
well,
Steven.
thanks for coming on. There we go. Hey, Joe.
What is happening?
What up?
My computer sucks. So you've got the horizontal or the vertical camera and the horizontal camera land over there.
That's the guy.
Cool. This is a fellow that I am looking to have on. Him and his wife are going to join us on Monday.
Yep.
I'm gonna pick your brain on Monday, man, because I really want to get into that liquidation.
It's different. I recommend it. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't like sourcing.
Look at all his inventory.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, I've still got another room.
I just heard Dad's vintage garage. He's like, look at all his inventory.
We only have maybe 900 items listed, but we have like a 80 to 90% sell-through rate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a sell-through rate.
Wow. That's awesome.
But we're very strategic with what we purchase. And I mean, it's really, to be a better reseller, you have to be a better lister and a better sourcer. And so we're really fine-tuning our sourcing strategy to source really specific stuff that brings us the profits that we want and sells fast. Because we don't have, I mean, we had the warehouse. We could be more we didn't have to be as picky with our sourcing. We can just buy a whole truckload of stuff and then we'll sell it eventually because we were buying stuff for 50 cents an item. But now that we're, in our, 900 square foot space here at our house, we have to be a lot more selective with what we purchase.
Yeah.
For right now, I mean, we'll be back in a warehouse probably come April or May because it's what we want. But, and we moved out of it because we didn't know what kind of stuff we wanted to buy. And it's expensive to have a warehouse and all that. So, I'm sure we'll go in a lot more of that on Monday.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the liquidation really intrigues me, just because it seems like it would be a little bit cheaper to get involved in that than it would be like the wholesale aspect.
Yes, wholesale is probably safer, but there's less margins. But it's safer, especially if you want to scale with like Amazon and stuff. It's going to be safer. But you can get some good stuff for cheap with liquidation. And that's really the big difference between wholesale. Wholesale, it's the chain of custody hasn't been broken. So it's easy to sell those items like on Amazon. But since it's liquidation, it has no chain of custody. So you can't really technically sell any of it as new, or else you risk, it's riskier.
Right.
So your main outlet for liquidation would be like eBay and Mercari and the secondhand platforms.
Yeah. But I know people who are doing, $1 to $3 million a year on Amazon with buying liquidated goods, but they've learned what brands you don't sell. Like you don't really sell, don't sell Chinese goods. Mostly everything's made in China anyways,
Right.
but don't sell brands that are Chinese related, like that are from China. And that's like probably 33% of all Amazon sellers are from China, and you don't sell those brands because they fight dirty. But you know, they've it's like a guy his name is Anthony Conley, and he started reselling probably a year and a half ago. And his first year, he did $1.5 million.
Oh, yeah, I know Anthony.
Yeah, and he's been a big help to me. And all he does is he sells it on Amazon. You don't realize is like he buys Amazon medium box pallets, which they're hard to find. You usually have to buy a whole truckload. But he does everything FBA.
Yeah.
Because like say, I don't know, you get a box, you know, it's 3 feet long, 2 feet wide, and you know it's a big box. It's going to cost you probably $30 or $40 to ship it FedEx. But you could ship it to Amazon for like $4, and
Hold
then
on now,
pay maybe $10.
Something happened with your audio, Joe. You got real
something
quiet.
happened with your audio.
Can y'all hear me now?
We can hear you,
Sounds
but
like
you're
you're
super
really
quiet.
far away.
It's like you put your hand over your mic is what it sounds like.
Any better now?
That's
Somebody
a lot.
called me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a lot better.
All right, cool. But the way he does it's a pack. Like he buys, I don't know where y'all lost me, but he buys the
Pick your phone up again.
Yeah, we can't hear you again, man.
Yeah, as soon as you set the
put
phone
you
down.
up here. Y'all get
Yeah.
a close up of my nose hairs. Let me put my headphones in. Maybe that will. Sorry, y'all. Any better now?
No, you actually got worse.
I got worse.
Got real quiet.
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking like
Yeah, it
something
sounds
over
like
your microphone.
like you put your hand over your microphone is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's better. That's
All
better.
right.
We can hear you.
I don't know what that was. So sorry about that. Just nobody else call me. But he does the Amazon medium box pallets, and I don't know where you lost or where you lost, but if you get a big box, it's like 3 feet long by 2 feet. It's big. You know, it'll cost you $30, $40 to ship it through UPS or FedEx. So what he does is he just ships it all into to Amazon, and he may pay $3 to ship it to Amazon, but then he's only going to pay $10 in shipping fees with Amazon. So he nets an extra $27 per transaction, which is huge.
Right.
So I mean, and he's made a big business out of it. So it's kind of a little hack. If you do have big items that you don't want to ship it yourself, you could do Amazon FBA, as long as you're selling it correctly.
Yeah. Anthony, he's very knowledgeable. He's in a private group that I'm in, and he's very knowledgeable.
Here, Destiny wanted to come in, but had no more screen room, so she's gonna
I'll leave.
down here.
No, I have to go anyway.
No,
we
I
can-
wanted to join him in his screen.
Him and his
People can
screen.
see that we're together.
And she
That's
is
cute.
looking forward. Destiny's looking forward, Joe, to your wife being on Monday. She loves your wife.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I love her, you know, but I like
I
to
hope
have her on
so.
YouTube. You know, there's not a lot of women. You know, there's a lot more men. This is a male-dominated space.
Yep.
So I always love
Amen.
having her. I always love having her on. And, you know, when we do videos, those videos always perform better than when I'm in it by myself. So I always like to have her involved. And I don't know, I feel like I'm a lot more enjoyable when I do videos with her also. Like she brings out, I get really serious.
Yes, I've noticed that in your solo videos, you're kind of just you're putting it out straight to the point, you know. And when you guys are together, it's more of a relaxed kind of goofy.
Yeah, she brings out the fun in me.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah.
Steven's comment?
Steven Scroggins says she makes you look better, Tommy.
She does. I'll know that. Yes, my wife makes you look better too, and she's got
funny how that
purple
works?
hair, so everybody remembers the purple hair.
I love her purple hair.
and their dreadlocks, which hardly ever we get some. We're down here in the conservative South, you know, in Arkansas.
Oh, I'm just south of you.
Where are you in Louisiana?
Louisiana and Texas.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we've got that's where my wife's dad's family is from. He grew up in Louisiana, so we go down there a couple times a year.
Nice. What part does he live in?
Well, he lives here in Arkansas now, but he grew up pretty close to Lafayette. I think around the Bow Bridge area.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, all my family's from Louisiana, so.
Cool.
Right.
That's very cool.
So I see you're working, Joe. Are you shipping? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, what are you up to?
I've got these. We got unboxing coming out soon. I bought a liquidation lot of. We've been selling a lot of digital cameras, and I bought a lot of digital cameras and camera accessories. The other day we did an unboxing for it. That video should come out soon. But now I'm going through and removing all of these little stickers from the box. And yeah, I didn't really. I mean, it was a learn. I mean, with liquidation, you really have to, follow people who have bought stuff and kind of learn, which is what we're trying to do with, help people, show people what to purchase, because liquidation can be a very risky thing. And but a lot of people, they also don't have a lot of money to learn with. So, and that's part of doing it all, except for, this is the same thing with sourcing from, garage sales and thrift stores. Very early on, you make lots of mistakes. You purchase stuff that you probably wouldn't have purchased, but you only spend a couple dollars for it versus, spending $400 or $500 or $1,000 on a pallet or a lot. But I bought this lot of digital cameras and accessories because I wanted to learn about it. I'm one of those, I have to learn by doing. I can't really read about it or watch about it. I've got to do it because I've got to put my hands on it. So we bought this lot, and it was okay. We'll at least double our money. And for us, I mean, everybody works on different margins. Everybody has different levels of, what they determine is success. Doubling money, it's I'll take that as a win, but it's definitely not what we shoot for. We usually shoot for triple or quadruple. But we also don't have to, we may spend, an hour a week sourcing or an hour every 2 weeks sourcing, where some people, they spend 20, 30 hours a week sourcing.
See, that would be nice. That's what I was telling Destiny. We could get into that liquidation and order a couple pallets. We ain't got to run to the thrift store every other day
And especially it's cold, where you guys are. You're going to be getting snow and stuff. Do you want to
got it already.
We've had 2 inches this past week. Granted, a lot of it is melted and then it's re-snowed, but it's way early.
We actually got some snow in here in Arkansas yesterday somewhere.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you don't want to get out in that. So like you could have the stuff delivered to you. Granted, you're not going to make as much margin wise, but dollar wise, you can still make lots of money and never actually have to leave your house.
Okay, I have a real quick question. Maybe you can clarify it for me, Tommy. Is heat liquidation, that's the same thing as the pallets, right, that we were talking about, or is that 2 different things?
Yeah, like when I'm looking online at the pallets of, like when I'm looking on bulk and the Home Depot and.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that's what he was talking about, and I was following along correctly.
And we're tied up on limited space, and I got a 1-car garage, so I'm like, well, I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm like, well, I could fit about 6 pallets in there, because I was told when you first start, you're better off. I mean, I know with some people's finances, they can't help but to do it, but don't just buy 1 pallet, because it could be a bum pallet. At least try to get 3. So if you get a bum one, the other 2 hopefully make up.
I would say that's accurate. Yeah. I mean, that's why we went to buying truckloads at a time, because you will get some pallets that are duds. But the more you purchase, you're mitigating your risk.
Yeah, your odds are better.
Sense.
Yeah, I've been told that.
Where are you guys selling these on? What platforms?
We sell eBay and then Facebook Marketplace.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And our sell for where we're at, like our sales are slow, just because we took a lot of time off this summer.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, slow is like 15, 16K a month.
Jeez.
That's slow. This time last year, we were doing probably, what is it, October? We're doing probably 35 or 40K this time last year.
Wow.
But we had a lot more employees.
Yeah, that's
we scaled, but we scaled too big, too fast, and it was not really what we wanted. So, that's a big reason why we closed the warehouse down, so that we could, I go really, really fast. And Jessica, my wife, she likes to go very, very slow. Well, last year it was just me. I was like fast, 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 fast. And then you get into it, you're like, oh crap, I've messed up a lot and we're losing money here and there. Like we've got a hole in this ship. And then, so this year we're scaling, but we're doing it on a more balanced effort, and we're actually making more money.
Now, see, pallets liquidation, that intrigues me. And I've told Tommy that I think we should get into it.
Yeah, we've been talking about it
Yeah.
for like a year and a half. And, our biggest holdback, I think, is space. Because I'm working here in the basement, which is like 280 square feet. And then I got my 1-car garage that I won't park a car in because I need room for inventory. And so space is the issue. And I want to buy more than just like one pallet, because for one, I heard about the risks of buying one. For two, if I'm going to pay a delivery charge, I want to get the most out of that delivery as I can.
Exactly. Especially if it's residential, because you'll have to pay the liftgate fees and the residential fees. So you're going to want to get multiple pallets at a time, unless you purchase from like bulk.com, where it's $200 regardless of where you are per pallet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we've watched bulk and looked at bulk. And
yeah.
We thought about maybe. What do you think about I see that.
I don't know. There, with every liquidation company, there's great possibility, but they're also, for me personally, I like the local places, because there's not as much. They're not on the main road. If you compare it to like driving down the main strip of town, you've got all these places that are on the main strip that are like, the chain restaurants, Chili's, Red Lobster, all those places. It's good, it's decent food, but you generally pay more for it. Right. Or you can go off on these little side streets where it's not as well traveled, and you can actually get better quality food for lesser price. It's kind of the same thing with pallet liquidation. Is you've got these main companies that advertise the heck, and they pay Google to place high in search results. They use YouTube influencers and all these places to kind of get high in search results and then bot stuff. Yep. But you can get some better value from local places, and for a lot less, and you can still have them shipped. The only thing is, it's when you buy from local liquidators, is that you generally don't have as much information, because they don't really have manifested pallets. It's just that's where the relationships come in, where you have to build relationships with the people that you're working with, so that they know what you're looking for, so that when they see a pallet, they can say, hey Joe, I got these 3 pallets in off this truckload today, do you want them?
Right. Well, see, we do have a local liquidator. He's local by like an hour and a half away, but we actually drove up and checked them out. And we didn't buy a pallet, but we did buy like a truck full. He kind of let us cherry pick through things.
Yeah, our little truck full.
And Destiny bought a bunch of makeup that sold through real fast.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, we got to try this." I think this, because I seen. Because I look for makeup online myself, and every one that I go to, they're selling for really good money. So I was like, well, try the makeup. Makeup.
And makeup, it's small too. Right. Like you can buy a lot of makeup and have it, but it's not going to take as much storage space to do. and I say, let me preface, I say local, and I'm not saying like local to you, but like small mom and pop places, not big chains, because there's nobody local for us here in Arkansas. Like the closest liquidator is 5 hours away for us.
Wow.
And I don't drive there because that's a waste of time. Like I could make, I could generate in a day, I could generate $800 or $900 in revenue if I work a full day listing, or if I'm not going to drive to go pick up 3 pallets and to save $400 in shipping when I just lost $500 total.
Wow.
Right. See, that's because you're getting big time. Me at this point, I would drive. Save $400.
But you love to drive, so in all honesty.
But I see what you're saying. You think you're saving money, but you're actually losing money because you could be spending your time doing something that would be worth more.
Right. Now, I wonder if his food analogy with the liquidation pallets or the pallets and stuff, I wonder if that could be applied to what we were researching last night with the supplies.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about.
Okay.
So, okay.
It's all about, I worked in the restaurant industry for a long time. For 20 years, I started working in restaurants when I was 14, and I retired when I was 34. I was general manager for Cracker Barrel, for Starbucks, Chili's, all those places. I ran a pizza company here in Arkansas. I had 12 stores, had 500 employees, 40 managers. But you would always, and I even see it in resellers, is you try and save pennies, but you spend dollars to save pennies.
Right.
It's like the same thing. Well, I'll go pick up the pallet because I'll save me $200, but you didn't realize that, that when you consider your hourly wage and the hassle of actually having to get out and leave to go do it, you wasted a lot, and you could have, ruined even momentum, because you could have used that time to list stuff, which would create momentum for your store, but instead you did it to save some extra money.
Now, with the Facebook Marketplace that you guys sell on, do you guys? I've heard like with Facebook Marketplace, sometimes you have problems with like customers not showing up or flaking out. Do you guys get that?
No, our ecosystem for Facebook is really well here.
Okay.
We don't generally have that, but at the same time, like what I would do for people that have that is there's some areas that are worse than others. Here we don't. It could be a cultural thing. It could be just how things here are in my city. But for people that they have issues with that in their area, that I wouldn't even leave like my house unless they've confirmed like 20 minutes before that, hey, are we like, and I usually will follow up, an hour before the scheduled meetup time, say, hey, are we still on to meet at this time? And if they say yes, and then that's it. And then, when it gets closer to it, I follow up again. I say, hey, I'm about to leave the house. I'm making sure that you're going to be at such and such place at such and such time. And then do that. But I also, for us is I force people to.
You'll be right back.
I force people to meet me close to my house, where ultimately now, like, we don't even leave until they say they're there. Cause we're like, there's a meetup spot like 5 minutes from us that we meet people at. But I usually like, if they offer me, a certain price, when you list something, you're like, well, I'm going to list it for this, but I feel comfortable with this price here. So usually if somebody offers me that price I'm comfortable with, I'm say, yes, I'll take that price as long as you meet me at this place. Mm-hmm. And then they feel like they're saving money. And then I get what I wanted the whole time, which is I want to meet close to my house because time is money. I'm not going to drive all the way across town or make an extra 20-minute drive to get $5 more or even $10 more, because that's just, it's $10, it's $5. My time is worth a lot more than that. So that's one way that we do. But we also follow up with people, even those people who are flaky, and they say, is this item available? Right. I'm sure if you saw on Facebook, you get that a lot, where this item available, and then you hear nothing. Because Usually they'll do it at nighttime, like they're scrolling through Facebook at night, and then they look at these items that they have for sale, like, ooh, I'm interested in this. Or they do it in the morning, and then they forget about it. They go to work and they forget about it, or they go to bed and they forget about it. So it's not like they're ghosting you. They generally just forgot. So I always follow up 2 days after somebody messages me. I follow up with, hey, are you still interested in this item? And I get lots of sales that way through follow up. I mean, it's the same thing with sales. You have to follow up. People forget.
Right.
You have to follow up. And
no,
the more
that's a good point.
Yeah, and the more you follow up, the better success you're going to have.
Yeah, I know here we've had a lot of no-shows. Like Tommy will message them, and like just before we walk out the door, yeah, we'll meet you. We get there and they don't show up.
So I stopped. I won't meet anybody any further than like 3 blocks from my house now, because I've tried to be the nice guy, meet him. We're in a smaller town, meet him 20 miles, a half hour down the road, and then you sit there for 45 minutes, and not only do they not show up, they won't even respond to messages and say, hey, I changed my mind, no, I'm not coming. So you don't know if they're running late or whatever.
If something happened,
if something happened, you just don't hear from. So I'm like, I kind of don't really sell anything on Marketplace unless it's a big dollar item, like boats or trailers, stuff like that, because those are more serious buyers. When you're talking about, spending $1,500, $2,000 on a boat, the buyers that interact on that are a lot more serious than the guy that's trying to buy a $35 stereo, bookshelf stereo,
And I think our area too, I think has a lot to do with it as well. We're not in such a amazing area. And so when we move, I think it'll be a lot different for Marketplace. But that's just my opinion and my feelings. Hi, Len. So
yeah, I would say Facebook, it depends on your area. And if you're not selling on Facebook because you hear the horror stories about it, but you never really gave it an opportunity, like I would say, give it a try, because you never know how the experience is going to be for you.
Right.
I mean, like when I lived in Milwaukee, I sold a lot, just through like the Facebook buy sell before there was even like a Facebook Marketplace, just through the groups, and I did real well on things there, but here not so much.
Yeah, and you could also, some people are doing, they create Facebook pages around their business, and they do auctions, right, for their Facebook, for the local community. And the thing about Facebook auctions, you'll have to check your state law, but like here in Arkansas, you do not have to have an auctioneer's license to do an auction on your Facebook page. Whereas if I went to auction it outside of my house, I would have to have an auctioneer's license, but because it's on Facebook, you don't have to. But every state is different.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still waiting to get a clear answer from my state, and actually, T from Auctions for You, she said she could probably find out for me, because I can't even from our auction association can't tell me if I need a license to do an internet style auction. They have no clue.
So, hey, Joe, I got a question. So Facebook Marketplace, you're selling, and then once the thing sells, you got an option to mark it as, still for sale, items sold, or I care not to answer. Don't you think all that stuff, when you market sold on all these different platforms, that, I mean, theoretically, they can track all this down, that they could tax that income, all of it, right? If you market sold, as opposed to just say, I care not to answer?
Theoretically, they could.
Yeah.
But, I imagine, Facebook tracks everything. So I imagine if, how far would, if the IRS was coming after you because of, not, keeping up with all your revenue, how far would they go? Would they go that far? Do they have the information available? Is Facebook even willing to cooperate with the IRS in regards to that stuff? But whether you mark it as sold or you mark it as unavailable, that's your choice.
Right.
I also know like that Facebook they are mapping a way to be an online marketplace because now they've integrated the option for shipping for all of their items.
Right.
That if you've listed recently on Facebook Marketplace, that now shipping is an option where you have to link a bank account where you don't get paid now until the item is showing delivered. So you have to upload tracking all that. So they are positioning themselves to do that.
So their revenue is basically when they give you the option to boost your listing. Is that how they're making the money on Marketplace?
Yeah, I mean Facebook, they've got to get creative with how they're going to make money. Just same thing with eBay, except for Facebook now, they want you to promote the listing so that it'll show up in different places of Facebook, but they will at some point because of the amount of online sellers and the amount of items that are being sold that Facebook is losing money on because they're not actually able to charge any fees, but they will someday. It's just there's more people on Facebook than eBay. I still say that Facebook should have bought eBay. They won't, but they could have easily integrated with their current existing system, and then the customer reach would go from like 300 million to like 2.5 billion people.
Right.
But we don't market as sold. We usually just end the item.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I do sell something on there. I just delete it right away. Even on like what is it, Macari, it'll show up as sold, once it sells, and I just go in and delete all of those. No reason to clog it up with sold listings. Now, after talking with Joe here, I feel so small time. I got to get my button gear.
Hey, me too, man. When he says like 15 to what did you say, Joe? 15 to 16.
15 to 16. Yeah,
that's a slow month. Oh my.
Yeah. But
no, that's a gross number, right?
I mean that's not what we're netting.
Still, that's awesome.
I mean, it's even smaller compared to people that I talk to that are doing 30 to 40,000 a month, and we could do that, but the model that we used to use, it wasn't sustainable because it was dependent upon supply, and once that supply ran out, it was an issue, and so it's all about really. The thing about reselling is that there's so many different ways to do reselling. There's so many different goals. Like some people, they only want to earn an extra $2,000 per month, or somebody wants to earn $1,000 per month. And some people want to do it full time and earn X amount of dollars. Well, there's so many different ways to go about doing that. And the thing is, it gets dangerous, especially within the reselling Facebook and YouTube community, is the comparing. And people, they want to compare their business to somebody else's. Well, you can't really, because it's comparing apples to oranges because of different goals, different areas of the country that people live in, different desires, different mindsets. So like the reselling is one of those things where there's so many ways to do it and be successful at it for your business.
Right.
Because if your goal is you want to do $10,000 a month in sales, well, what are your goals? Like, what is your roadmap to get there? Like, how do you want to go about doing that? Like for us, I love building businesses. Like ever since I was a young kid, I always dreamed about, building a business. And then once that's up and running, do another business. Like it's just something I've always enjoyed doing. I enjoy it. But for me, it's like we set up we have 3 different eBay stores, and those are for the different categories that we sell. A lot of people, they do all one store, and they just have a really broad scope of items that they sell in one store. We used to do that, but we sell a lot of digital cameras and GPSs. So all that is in one store. It's ran by Jessica. She kind of is in charge of that. So she's in charge of the sourcing, all that for the digital cameras. I have another employee who she does cell phones and tablets. So that's a separate store where all the cell phones and tablets are another store. She kind of runs that operation from beginning to end, except for sourcing. I do the sourcing for that because the market fluctuates. And then we have a vast majority of like the liquidated items that I do with buying pallets and a lot of the stuff that we source with liquidation. It does fit into those two stores, but everything else, like a lot of the pallet stuff, the home goods, like it all goes into a separate store. So then we can really track the sell through for our individual categories, because it's eBay, their system is a little outdated. You can't really check sell through for individual categories that you have. You can really only calculate it for the whole store. So we've started separating everything so that we can actually get a good indication of what the sell through rate is for those different stores. So then with the different goals that we have for building those, like, you know, our goal for Jessica, like right now, she's in charge of the cameras and GPSs. But once we move out of our house, we're going to hire an employee, a full-time employee, to take over that, so that we can then start building the pallet business even more, because we'll have space and we'll have, you know, just a lot more space to be able to do it. And then once that's up and running, we have systems in place, we'll hire employees to take over that, so that if we want to do another category or we want to build another business, then we have the time to be able to do that. And that's our goal. That's what we want to do. But everybody is different. Some people are content with, you know, being in their 280 square foot, you know, space. That's what they want. And then you just have to figure out, you know, if that's your goal.
Nope, not
I am
here.
not content with that.
But some people are like, they like stay like, you know, a lot of resellers, like they're stay-at-home moms or people who are doing it as a part-time job.
Right.
You just have to figure out what your goal is for reselling and why you want to do it, and then adjust your strategy to reach those goals of what you want to do, and then don't deviate it.
I think that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, we did have a question, Joe, from Lisa in chat, and she says, sorry if you answered already, I missed it, but she says, what percentage, since you sell on multiple platforms, that you do you estimate comes from eBay?
95%. We sell maybe 5% local and then 95% on eBay. If I could sell on Amazon, I would, but I can't. Like, when I say don't
style inventory, because it is liquidation, right?
Yeah, because I mean we've been suspended on Amazon because of a Chinese brand.
Yeah, counterfeit.
That they said it was counterfeit, and it wasn't. But because like we were selling it as used and everything, so like we followed the whole protocol to a system. We are legally allowed to sell it, like because of the law of first sell doctrine.
Right.
It says that you can do it, but because Amazon, you're guilty until proven innocent, because that's how they protect themselves so they don't get involved, is that it's dependent upon the seller to provide all ways to deem yourself as innocent.
Right.
But since I couldn't prove where I got the items from, I couldn't prove that they weren't counterfeit. So like for us, like we can't sell on Amazon, you know. I could spend, you know, $1,000 to, you know, get an IP specialist who deals with that thing. And I've talked to one, and there's probably, you know, 75% success rate that we'll get our Amazon account back. But right now I could turn $1,000 into, you know, $8,000 or $9,000 in the next 3 months because of buying strategic items. So I'm like, well, I don't even have time to deal with Amazon right now, so I'm just going to go on eBay this season and then worry about it come the fall. But like, if I could sell on Amazon, there's a lot of things that I would buy to sell on Amazon, but not brands, not specific brands.
Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, that's the big thing. Like, if you don't have a way to prove, that's what I tell people. Like, this is why I say don't sell things on Amazon, you know, from garage sales and yard sales, because you have no way to prove where you got it. And this right here, I may have you on, man, just to share your story.
Yeah. Anytime. And it's like, and it's the thing, it's like, you know, and the thing that gets me is, you know, eBay sellers all the time are saying like, you know, eBay doesn't care about their sellers. I'm like, you haven't sold on Amazon, have you? You should, no, for real, like you should go and join Amazon selling groups. There are people with $1 million accounts getting suspended every day. They don't care. They don't care about the seller. It's like whack-a-mole because they one goes down and 5 more come up. Like Amazon does not care about the seller.
Do you know Rai Tai FBA guy on Instagram? Okay, he and his wife, she was his girlfriend, and she started helping with Amazon, and now they're married. But they're going to be on next Saturday, and they just hit $1 million in 12 months, and he's keeping his full-time job. And I asked him why, and he said, because we've been suspended on Amazon before, and it's just a matter of time until it happens again. And, you know, I want to have him on because I like to share the downsides, the risks. You know, they've dealt with a lot of crap from Amazon, you know, and I want people to know about this stuff. So.
And you got to, like, you know, it's the thing about people that go on YouTube, like Amazon this, Amazon FBA this, like, but you're not talking about the risk. Like, like a lot, and then people are like, "Man, I've got this $1 million Amazon business." I'm like, "No, you don't. You don't have a business, because if you got suspended, your business is gone. Because you don't have any customers. You have 0 customers. Amazon has customers. You have 0. So like part of our long-term goal is to have our own website, to be able to list all. There's like with Shopify, there's amazing tools and stuff that you can get now that you can integrate your eBay store into Shopify and then have it on your own website. And then you can even integrate that with Facebook now. There's lots of different things that you can do, but it's there. It's right now it's very expensive to acquire customers and acquire new customers. It is.
Right.
But if you're selling one-off items, it's probably not the best thing for you. But if you're wanting to scale and actually produce a business that it has longevity, at some point you're going to want to do either your own brands or wholesale or whatever it is, because that it's safer. And lots of people will have varying opinions about that because it's just different ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
But even with eBay, it's like, it's not really your business. It's eBay's business. You're just selling on their platform for other people, because I mean, at least with eBay, you can capture people's email addresses. You know, I don't know if legally you could probably email them, but you could log all of those email addresses. And if you did have a lot of returning customers, you probably could email them and tell them your new location and this and that, whether that's, you know, acceptable or not. It's, you know, up to the individual.
Right.
We had a question from Cliff Boondock. He says, if you buy something from garage sales, you can mark down the item price and address. That could be considered a receipt, could it not? He was kind of asking for Amazon, and I asked him, or for tax. For tax purposes, it will work to show that you made a purchase at a garage sale. We carry a receipt book around with us and fill it out with what we bought and the address we bought it at. It works for taxes, but that won't work for Amazon, correct?
No,
not for IP or counterfeit. There's a pretty big seller. He's got like his own warehouse and stuff. Now he buys a lot of wholesale grocery from small mom and pop grocery distributors, and they'll write him like a handwritten receipt for that. But the reason that Amazon accepts that is because it says on the receipt, like it says the distributor, you know, like they have their name printed on it. It's like their own personalized receipt. But no, to get something from just, you know, your average day Joe or whatever, you know, at a garage sale, no, that won't work. No, you make some really good points, you know, about the risks. And that's one thing I try to tell people. That's why, like, you know, I was watching someone's show the other day, a pretty big YouTuber, and somebody was asking about Amazon, and someone in the chat said, just jump in and get started. And I'm like, no, do not, because you'll get yourself suspended.
I did it.
You need to know the rules. Yeah.
Joe, people in chat, they're saying that you're leaking too much information. What are we going to have left to talk about Monday? And I'm telling them, man, you are like a wealth of knowledge.
I'm excited for Monday now. This is awesome.
I mean, I loved it. I'm very passionate about this. You know, I'm just very passionate about this, and I could talk for hours about all these different things. And
Well, I'm
too,
going to
man.
be writing down all my questions this weekend.
Me too. That's how I am about Amazon. I can talk about Amazon for hours and hours. And
yeah,
Have you ever been suspended from Amazon, Tiff?
what's that?
Have you ever been suspended from Amazon?
No, knock on wood, you know, but I mean, it happens to big sellers. And can you get unsuspended? Yes. But like in this scenario, he got suspended and they don't have a way to prove where they got their items. So that's why I tell people don't buy and sell on Amazon from garage sales, yard sales, you know, because it's a lot harder to get unsuspended. So, and eventually, if you look at a lot of your bigger Amazon sellers, they have multiple LLCs or, you know, S Corps or whatever. They have multiple Amazon accounts. You can do all of that in legitimate ways. So if you want Amazon to be your only platform, eventually that's the direction you've got to go. You've got to have multiple businesses to do it.
Absolutely.
So,
And that's kind of what me and Anthony developed this whole show for, was to show people and try to bring people in to show them how they can develop different revenue streams and not put all your eggs in one basket, you know?
Right. Yeah, Kelly makes a good point. She said you can sell
unless it's your own
books.
basket.
Unless it's your own basket, yes.
Kelly was saying you can sell used books from garage sales, and that's true.
But I even know people who have been suspended. I know some people who have been suspended and sued from selling used books. So there's still even risk there. Not to scare anybody off, but even within that, like there's risk.
Right.
And it's crazy. But I think that's where,
you know, point why you should have the insurance, the bid liability insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there was a lady that reached out to me. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I've got a phone call with a company here in like 7 minutes. I'm trying to get some product from them. They're supposed to call, but I was going to say just about the realm of liquidation before I jump off, is that eBay is that they are in the process of partnering with big liquidators to offer items at a discount to eBay sellers. And even with that, if it's manifested, they even have a way to actually go in and pre-create listings for you.
That would be awesome.
Like if you buy a lot through their program, you buy like a lot of a manifested goods, that those items would be, from my understanding from the dialogue that I've had, is that that would be like you bought a lot, that would be preloaded into your draft or somewhere in your eBay back office, so that when you got it in, all you'd have to do is do quantities and, you know, any condition type notes and stuff like that. I don't know how far away they are from implementing that, but I know that is a program that they do have in place. That is, they are growing towards.
That would be exciting.
Wow, that's interesting.
They see the possibility with it because, you know, it's last year Amazon did $100 billion in online sales, but still overall, like the grand scope of online sales, it only incorporates 10% of online sales is the full scope of retail sales. So there's still 90% of all sales are made in store, but the amount of liquidation goods that is being reintroduced into the supply chain every year is growing and growing. So they have, like, it's expensive, very expensive for these companies to store that place. They need more people to buy it.
Right.
And eBay, if they do it, it sounds like they are going to be a big player in that, to be a platform to reintroduce those items where they're not really, they're differentiating themselves from Amazon, which eBay sellers would like.
More about that. I'm looking forward to them popping these off. That would be real exciting. For me, I think it would.
Yeah.
That sounds, yeah.
When
that
I was
sounds
reading about
like
it,
a
talked
good-
to them, I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like,
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
You're losing signal.
But it's so easy that it somewhat. But there's
You're losing signal or something there, Joe.
That's his call coming in, probably.
I heard it
Oh,
change.
that's
I don't know
right.
if I'm still
he said he had
here
a
or not.
call.
But
Yeah, you're here. Your video's froze, but your voice is here.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. And any questions I have from Monday, and I appreciate y'all. Yeah, but
Hey man,
anytime.
you're a wealth of knowledge.
Right?
Okay. Anytime, Jessica will be here on Monday, so whole different. Had an opportunity to talk with her.
That's
Good.
a good show.
I did not do that. You must have walked out of signal range.
What'd you do, Tommy?
Oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah,
So
I
now
gotta
y'all
get
have
that.
to stay tuned.
But I'm telling you guys, this guy,
Yeah.
when it comes to that, he knows a ton. This was just like a teaser,
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, he seems like he just is, he knows so much.
and he puts out a lot of information on his YouTube channel. So anybody that's interested in the liquidation should definitely head over there. He's not trying to sell you a program. He's not trying to sell you a Patreon thing. So I can't say that he never will, because I think the guy probably should, because he's got so much knowledge. But get over there now and absorb that knowledge before it would cost money. I'm not saying he ever will, but just in case.
To be continued. ...
And his
Monday.
wife, like I say, we just heard from him, and his wife is just as awesome. You know? And he's not so like, I'm gonna get this information to you. It's more relaxed when he's got his wife. She keeps him on chill mode.
All right, guys. I appreciate you having me on. I gotta get going too. I got a lot to do.
Absolutely, you're another wealth of knowledge when it comes to Amazon. So people that want Amazon, check out Tiff's channel too.
Thank you guys.
You
Thank you
also
guys.
people on that are great people.
Thank you so much. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Much love, Tiff.
Bye. Much love. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, John, the spotlight's on you now. What can you follow up with?
You wanted
Man, I don't have anything to say. I'm just a hobby seller after that part. So, real quick, Oliver and I, we've got to go clean out one of my storage units. This is the first time I've ever had under contract 3 storage units. I was supposed to be out yesterday, and I had a mahogany table in there that I wasn't able to sell, and Oliver's going to take it, so we paid for an extra day. So we got to go get that unloaded and all that. But thanks for letting me come on.
Oh,
anytime, man.
Absolutely. And I've been for the last 2-3 days. Marie Perlette said that I should get a hold of you because you might have some juice that I'd be interested in.
Oh yeah.
So,
My kids tell me to throw away the death juice, and I said, hey, it's a personal choice.
right. So I don't know. Maybe after you're done messing around later this evening.
So Destiny's got my phone number. Call me, and then I'll maybe text you a picture or whatever. So
all right.
Hey,
Sounds
one
good.
of my little tidbits that I'm starting to dive a little bit into Facebook Marketplace is, and I'm helping people kind of clean out their estates a little bit. And let's say they've got 2 or 3 mirrors for sale. I'll list the least desirable mirror first to see if I can get it sold. And I've got a lot of interest in that one mirror. And then I'll see what the market is and see who wants to like offer me lower or who's kind of right in that price range. And then I'll say, hey, that mirror is sold, but I've got this one at $65. Are you interested in this one? So instead of posting them all up at once, I try to sell the least desirable one first, find out who's interested in a mirror, and then I'll say, well, that one's okay, but I got this nicer mirror for this. And I'm not even having to post the item up on Marketplace. I'm kind of selling that right through. Does that make sense?
Has that been working?
Yeah, it is working a little bit. I had a wall piece I'll show, and then I always like try to bring something extra with me at the sale, and say, hey, what are you looking for? And I'm getting ready to sell an oil painting that I haven't even listed up. And she's asked me twice, hey, what's the price? What's the price? And I'd forgotten what I had agreed with this client. I said like 125, and she said, oh man, that's what I can get at retail, but at least I know she's still interested, even like, so I bet you if I offered her like $80, she'd take it because she knows she's got to pay. But she was an educated buyer. She knew what it cost in the store.
Right.
Yeah. So, and the same thing on the no-shows and all that. I've started like when they start saying, hey, when are we meeting? Where are we meeting? I put my phone number on there. The reason I put my phone number on there is if I get them to call me back, I've got a great accountability trail, you know.
Right. And I like that too. You know, I know they're a serious buyer if they're like, okay, I'll meet you here. Here's my phone number just in case something comes up.
But that's
then I
only
know
if
they're
they
serious.
expressed interest. I don't ever put my phone number in the listing. But if I've contacted them a couple times back and forth,
right,
and we're starting to set up meeting, and it's like texting back and forth is a pain in the hiney. It's like, just call me. Let's work it out. Call me on the phone. Let's just work out where we're meeting. You know, I'm going to be driving my truck. I mean, you know, I've got to get the kids to the pizza, whatever. You know, let's fit it in. But giving them your phone number, if they call you back, you've got them hooked, man, because, you know, people are kind of squirrely about giving their number out. And knock on wood, I've never had a problem giving my, you know, where they've abused my phone number.
Yeah, I
you know,
no,
because I want to be like.
Did he freeze?
Uh-oh. It looks like everybody's froze. You guys move around. Okay. I said move around, John.
He's deep in thought.
Somebody should snatch that. Maybe we can use it for a thumbnail sometime.
Turned into a statue.
Right? I don't know what happened.
Oh no, I was.
There he is. He's back. Wait, Destiny was gonna steal that screenshot just in case we wanted to use it for a thumbnail in the future and have you on. So just go like this.
Which way you want? Like this?
Oh, any of them. There you go.
Got it.
So I got a folder for future thumbnails. We'll try to perfect when we're gonna have them on.
And hey, thanks for whoever is in the chat and all that. Thank you guys for supporting our channel. We have a lot of fun. Kendall and I have a lot of fun, especially on our live.
I'm gonna drop a link to your channel here.
I mean, Tommy, you know how I don't even know how to drop my own link, so
I got it for you. I got it.
All right.
But yeah, I enjoy watching your channel because
when I was first learning how to go live and get linked up, Tiffany was one of the ladies that helped me do that, so it was really cool. And Kelly hip flipped Mama, and Tracy did too. Matter of fact, Tracy uniquely me. All right, hey.
There we go.
Go up there and get those brownies before they burn.
Yeah.
So she didn't even
I haven't started them yet. Here you go.
I'm gonna have her make a double batch too.
That's
we're
perfect.
gonna use that. We're gonna use that sometime.
Only thing that's missing is Kindle.
Yep.
That was
I did put the link to your channel in there, so people definitely check them out, man. It's a fun channel. Yeah, he's got Kindle in there a lot of times. Last night I seen she was helping you clean up your makeup.
Yeah, I mean, we both had our spa treatments, but we waited so long to go on the party that didn't happen that she went upstairs and wiped that stuff off because it was like getting tight on your face. It was crazy.
So when you were able to take it off, how bad did it hurt?
It didn't hurt at all. It was great. I would recommend that product, and I don't know if it's just me or it made my face feel better. Came off easier than I thought.
I've seen people with those black face masks like that and trying to take them off. I've seen tears of people trying to take it off because sometimes it won't come off the way it's supposed to.
I was worried about my beard and all that and my eyebrows, but she just rubbed it right out of there. Somebody commented on the video. He said, "I guess I'm not running for political office anymore."
I like Gate City Pickers thing here.
I mean, it's just like, come on, man. It's like you cannot. accused me of being prejudiced or whatever, and then it was just a spoof on construction worker, spa worker. Get my nails done. I thought that was kind of a neat little.
I loved the nails thing.
This comment kind of says something about Gate City Picker. I'm going to use a burner phone for local sales. Most people would say like a prepaid or a throw.
Right.
A burner is usually.
What are you selling locally, Paul?
Right.
So, all right. Thanks so much, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, John.
Oliver, look at he's patiently. He's sitting over there waiting. Let's go.
Nice,
Let's go.
nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wants a table. All right. Have a good weekend. See you,
All
Nate.
right.
See ya.
Bye,
Have a good day.
Bye, Anthony.
See you, John.
Gate City's like wink, wink. There we go. All right, fellas. Well, should we get some work done?
Yeah, I think it's time to work.
I think so.
I'm waiting for my
Going
mugs.
to,
Yeah, Destiny's all eager. The mugs are coming in today, so
woot woot.
we'll be able to get.
I've decided I'm going to run a working hangout tomorrow sometime if you guys are interested in listing mass quantities of items.
Yeah. You're off today, Nate?
Yeah, today and tomorrow.
You what are you working on today? Are you chilling or what? I was thinking about maybe firing something up this afternoon.
Gonna do an Amazon shipment.
That's what I'm going to
Maybe
work
go
on
source.
as soon as we're done here, Nate. If I was going to bother you to teach me how to get those other two items in this order.
Gate City Picker says, "Give me $20 and I'll be right back." I think we need to
You know
talk to him
how many
one-on-one.
$20 I lost back in the day that way? I never saw him again.
This is the last time you'll see Gate City Picker in the chat. We'll still be waiting.
Don't leave, Gate City Picker.
But, all right. Well, I think we're going to shut it down. I might fire up a hangout this afternoon, depending on who's on, what's going on YouTube. I don't want to.
I will work with you.
No. All right. So, any final words before we take off? Got anything popping, dropping this weekend, or?
Just the working hangouts at some point tomorrow, and dropped a video this morning. So if you want to watch me buy stuff at Goodwill, go check that out.
I always want to watch you buy stuff at Goodwill. How about you, Nate? You got anything dropping out?
I'll probably have a video this weekend. They'll probably make one tomorrow, I think.
Does it feature this handsome guy?
It might.
Come on.
Good possibility.
And we're gonna work on a name change for Nate, so people can
Find him.
find his channel easier. I
Yeah.
think we change up to like vaping and hustling, something like that. Something like that. But we got to make it easier for people to find you.
Vaping profits.
I love the vaping hustler.
Vaping profits.
There you go, vaping profits. We'll figure out. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Yeah, we're